Alright, so in this video I just want to talk about editing inside of WordPress, a little bit more detail, some of the very specifics that I'm looking for when writing the articles. And one of those things is called skinny paragraphs. They refer to it as, in the industry, as skinny paragraphs. And that's really just a paragraph of text um, with, say, I think the limit is around two, maybe three sentences in each one of those paragraphs. And that's to help the reader be able to read the article easier and not feel overwhelmed by, say, a long article that has a lot of words in it. And big paragraphs tend to scare some people off. So, for example, here, this little is a paragraph that has three sentences in it. So it's a little bit long. I'm going to go ahead and just split that up. Just pick that third sentence, and it does make sense if you look at it here. It actually has a little colon after it that was part of the paragraph. So it didn't really fit inside of the paragraph. It should have probably been an external a sentence on itself explaining that there are considerations coming, for instance, and then here's the key considerations tables. So you'll want to make sure you go through your article and split up any long paragraphs that you might find. In this case, that one is a little bit long as well. So just put a space there in between those. Even though that was only one sentence, it's a pretty long sentence, and so is the second sentence. So let's make sure that we split those up while we're looking through our articles. Okay, so everything else, as long as the pictures don't look overwhelming, I know this one came in originally, and it was a lot bigger than what it is now. Let's see if I can show what it looked like before. I don't think I can, but it was something like this, which is kind of too big and in your face. So we'll want to scale that down just a little bit so those words aren't quite so big, and it kind of fits more in line with the rest of the text, maybe a little bit bigger. So I think about that size is probably good. Still clear to see the picture. So we can go with this. Everything else looks pretty good. This is a long sentence here. I might want to split that one up. Um, that one's not too bad. The rest of them look pretty decent there. So I'm going to say this is good for this article. And the next thing we need to do then is just really make sure that all of our bulleted lists, for instance, here, or I'm sorry, not bulleted lists, but our bolded text areas. Um, I there's a fine line, I guess, between drawing is if it should be a header tag or if it should be just regular bold text. So make that distinction. And here you can see this one's an H2. These could be considered H3s in this case, even like here for the number one reasons. They probably should be, I think, could be H3s, but um, I will I'll let you make the choice on that. So the last thing I want to mention here in WordPress is after you've gone through your checks for the rank math and making sure everything is good for here, be sure to check the categories is selected correctly and that the author is also selected. If you're not able to do that, I can do it for you when I'm doing the review. And then the rest is just the link suggestions, making sure at the bottom of the articles that we're putting in the recommended links that apply. Sometimes they recommend them and they don't actually apply. I think in this case here we had one. I think I saw that it looked like it might apply. In this case, we're looking at 3D designs. No, not these. Not that one. I don't think that one either now. So I don't see any here. So if that's the case, next thing you want to do is just publish the article. And when you go to push the publish button, it's going to sometimes suggest that you bring in the images into WordPress. They may be externally linked to another website, maybe where they pulled the source image from. And we don't want that for various reasons. If their website goes down, then our image doesn't show on our blog, for instance, because it's linked to that their server in their library. So we want to import those. If you did get that suggestion, you would see it here inside of this box. It would say suggestions, and it would show the number of pictures that you had, and it would recommend that you um, pull those into our own media library. So just click on the button, bring them into the articles so that they are now part of our server, our posts, and our library. And then you'll want to just make sure you click on. I'll go ahead and cancel this. You'll want to make sure you just click on each image after that, and be sure that they have alternative text for every single image inside of the article. So in this case, I would need to add some alternative text, and it's simply just two rules of thumb to remember is add the keyword that we're focusing on in the article, and in this case, it's online online modeling design software. I think it's this. This is it. If I remember from the content brief, it's online 3D modeling. So we'll want to make sure that that keyword is part of our image in our alt text. So in this case, I would just put here man working on computer with 3D model on the screen. And then maybe if you can find a way to incorporate the keyword into your sentence or your description, probably good and better. But if not, just write your keyword there. So online 3D model. And then just, of course, we'll save that draft so that it stays with that image. But we'll want to make sure, again, go through all the images, check them, make sure they have alternative text. Just clicking on them, we can see there. And then if there's any videos, we'll also want to check those videos just to make sure. They're not going to have alt text with them, but we want to make sure that everything looks good in the settings here, and here we have it resizing it for smaller devices, which should be enabled. That way when we view it on a mobile device, it is resized and it's not going off the screen. And then after that, we'll want to go into, there we go. So I'm going to exit this. I'm not going to publish this article, but I'm going to show you one last stage of the publishing after, let's say this article was completed and we wanted to call it finished. We would just go back to the main post section here inside of the WordPress, and we'd want to find that article that we just published. And in this case, I did not publish that one, but I did publish this other one right before this video. So I'm going to show you just one last thing to do, and that's submitting it to be indexed. And you can speed that process up a little bit more instead of just saving the article and then waiting for Google and the other search engine and the web crawlers to actually find the article in your sitemap and then start crawling it and putting you into the search engines. You can kind of speed that process up a little bit here, and we have a plugin in our WordPress here. So down here at the bottom where it says indexing submit page, just go ahead and click on that, and that will then send a message out to the web crawlers and say, hey, we have a new article, come take a look at our sitemap and get it indexed for us. And that speeds up the process a little bit. And other than that, that's all I have. So thank you.